Hello, just checking in. So I think it was last week, Thursday. Um, you know, having a child who's very medically complex, you come to expect the unexpected. Um, we found ourselves in the emergency room, which is someplace that we frequent a lot. Um, wasn't anything too major. Um, but we were in the emergency room nonetheless. Not our favorite place to be, um, but someplace that we are frequently nonetheless. Um, so we are in the waiting room, waiting for a room because it is pretty packed in there, as usual. And um, the man approached me and he said, God told me to give this to you. And he's holding out his hand. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so I look, and he's holding out a $50 bill. And I said, what? He said, God told me to give this to you. And I said, are you. I'm just really confused at this point. Um, but he said, take it and get something for yourself. Um, and I just said, wow. Well, thank you. Um, are you sure? He said, yeah. And he walked away. Um, I was just kind of overwhelmed by that. And it turned out that we ended up having to stay at the hospital. And that $50 came in handy because it helped cover my parking and got me something to eat that night. So, yeah, that was a blessing in disguise, you know? Um, but um, all in all, it overall was not a bad hospital stay. Um, I'm learning to navigate our hospital stays a little better. I'm learning to ask for the specialties that we need to ask for earlier in the stay, so that they can get on board and get those consults in, um, so that my daughter can get the treatments and services that she needs, without delay. So she was able to get um, started with some of the interventions in the emergency room rather than waiting until she was transferred to the floor, which was helpful. It made a big difference for her, which is something that hasn't happened previously. So, that is something that I am learning to ask for, learning to insist upon that we do. depending on what it is that they think is going on. Is it an endocrine issue? Well, let's talk to her endocrine team. Is it pulmonary? Let's talk to her pulmonary team. This ENT, let's talk to the ENT. And let's see what they want to do, because most likely we can get started on something while we're in the ER versus waiting until we get to the floor. And that kind of makes this day go a little smoother, make things a little less lengthy. At least that worked for me this time. I don't know if that always is going to work, but it worked out this time. And that's what we're going to try next time as well. Because if we have to be in the hospital, we need to be in the hospital, we need to be in the hospital. I understand that. But what I don't want is to be there extra time because people are doing trial and error. We don't need to do all that trial and error because we already know a lot of things, so we don't need to try to start at the very beginning. We know a lot of things with her already, so let's take what we know and apply that and go from there. And if we have to, fix some things and tweak some things, we can certainly do that. But we're not going to start at square one as if these are new diagnoses, because they're not. As if we've just discovered that she has all of these issues. Yeah, because she's had them for 9 years. So we're not going to do that. We're not doing that at all. That's not what we're doing. No. I'm not interested in that at all. She's not interested in that. Because one thing about my daughter is when she's not feeling well, she will participate in being in the hospital. She will, she'll go along with it. But when she starts to feel better, when she starts to feel good, she is not having it. She's going to start trying to rip everything that they have attached to her out. It doesn't matter what it is. IV, no. Pulse ox, no. Leads, no. Don't put anything on her body. She's not interested in any of it. She's going to try to jump out the bed. She's just ready to go. And she lets everybody know she's ready to go. So, and these trying to extend her stays, that's not a good idea for anybody. That's not something we need to do. But I am glad that this last day was, not too long, and it went fairly well. I didn't have to argue with too many people, so that was nice. That was definitely nice. Sometimes you have to. That's what you gotta do. But we're home now. Back to business as usual. She's back to her regular shenanigans. Back to bossing everybody around. But anyways, that's our story, and we're sticking to it.